We currently have 48 Mega Pokemon evolutions in the series, and with the news of new Mega Pokemon making a return, I got to wondering what other Pokemon truly deserve a new Mega evolution in the upcoming Pokemon Legends ZA game. Well, in today's video, we'll be tackling just that and looking at a bunch of neglected Pokemon that totally deserve a new Mega evolution. This is kind of our thing here on the channel, and all these Pokemon would not be here today if it weren't for our good friend and amazing artist, thepanio. Their links will be in the pinned comments down below, so definitely give them a follow. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Also, there's a theme between the Megas in today's video, so let me know in the comments if you can figure it out. But with that, let's jump into our first Pokemon getting a new Mega evolution, and that's Talonflame, or how us intellectuals refer to it, Talonflame. Now, this Pokemon is probably one of the best early route bird Pokemon in this series, and the fact that our good pal Pidgeot got a Mega means Talonflame here is feeling pretty left out. So introducing Mega Talonflame, the Fire Ghost type Scorching Pokemon. Now, many of you might have already noticed it's no longer a flying type and is now instead part Ghost type. Well, this is due to the artist pulling inspiration from Native American legends such as how hawks were considered sacred animals. And I don't know about you guys, but this design is absolutely fire, no pun intended. It gets the ghost typing because those same legends had hawks as revered messengers of the spirit world, which adds to the overall design. And the skull and bone accents are just chef's kiss. This Pokemon's stats also get a significant boost like all Mega Pokemon do, and now is one of the fastest Pokemon in the entire game, probably because of its spirit messaging. But on top of all that, it gets the unique and Mega exclusive ability Aegislash, which isn't as strong since it did lose its flying typing, but still helps this Pokemon deal some insanely strong damage with moves like Giga Impact and even Quick Attack. It's also said that this Pokemon are the spiritual bridge between our world and the next, often being the link connecting lost souls to their loved ones. A really strong start to the new Mega Pokemon we've got in store for you in today's video. Next up is a blast from the past with Tyrantrum, a Pokemon whose jaws are so strong they can literally cut through steel as if it were paper. With that, the idea of this design took some heavy inspiration from the series Monster Hunter, and that got us this Pokemon, Mega Tyrantrum, the rock fire type Pokemon, with its scales now being replaced with charcoal and its tail looking like it could literally cut through steel itself. I thought the only good ability for this Pokemon would have to be something that helped combat one of its many weaknesses, and well, Steam Engine made the most sense. Since it's already covered in charcoal, it could use that to boost its speed whenever it gets hit by a water attack. It's also said that with its Mega evolution, this Pokemon's roar becomes a blast of searing flames, capable of melting even the sturdiest of armors. And ancient texts also recount a king of dragons whose fiery breath forged mountains and valleys, its reign marked by the ash of vanquished foes. Man, oh man, does this Tyrantrum sound like Himothy. But I must say, I do love the evolved designs in these Mega evolutions. They aren't just the same Pokemon but bigger, but instead are adding a new and unique level of story to each of their designs. But what do you guys think? Alright, now it's time to check out one of the most neglected Pokemon ever, and that's Trevenant. I mean, show of hands here real quick. How many of you ever actually caught one of these Pokemon and used it on your team? Even though it's a solid Pokemon with an interesting moveset, its original base stats really left it behind many other optimal choices. But that's no more with this brand new Mega evolution. Introducing Mega Trevenant, the Ghost Grass type Elder Tree Pokemon. I love how this design took Trevenant and pretty much gave it a more ethereal vibe to it, really sending the message of, hey, this Pokemon might actually be the ruler of the underworld. And speaking of which, it's said that upon evolving, this Pokemon's roots delve into the underworld, drawing forth eerie power that fills the forests with a chilling mist. It's also said to be the guardian of lost souls, helping guide them through the fog with gentle, glowing hands that illuminate paths hidden in the shadows. I love how the original art for this Mega Trevenant is an old white tree, and the shinies instead the regular colors. I think it adds to the overall power up of this Pokemon's design. But on top of that, it also gets the ability Shadow Tag. Similarly to Gengar, which we all know is an extremely strong ability for any ghost type Pokemon, but also its stats get a nice little buff, making this Pokemon actually competitively viable for once, with an attack stat of 130 and well-rounded stats all over. I mean, what's not to love about this spooky giant branch? I tell ya, I definitely want one of these guys on my team. But along with this Pokemon, I also want the next Pokemon since it's one of my absolute favorites. And that's Aegislash, a Pokemon who has two forms, Shield form and Blade form. And you're probably wondering, how on earth would we incorporate this design in a Mega? And well, I think our pal thepanio does just that, and then some. Introducing Mega Aegislash, the ghost type Royal Sword Pokemon. In this form, Aegislash is at their fullest of potentials, wielding both the shield and sword in their spectral form. And it's said that upon Mega evolving, it can shield itself from attacks as well as slice through dimensions with its spectral blade. I, for one, love how this design ended up, and I feel like it really does encompass both elements that make Aegislash one of my favorite Pokemon really well. On top of that, we got rid of the ability Stance Change because, again, we don't need it, and gave it the brand new ability Sharpness, which is definitely going to come in handy with this Pokemon. On top of that, we mixed up its stats to balance both its offensive and defensive stats, potentially making it one of the most well-rounded Pokemon, sitting at a base stat total of 600. Definitely a Pokemon I'm catching for my team, if not the only Mega I'd be running. But that could be because I'm a little biased, who knows. But what do you guys think? Any Aegislash fans in the comments? Actually, hold that thought, because now we're down to our final Mega Pokemon for this video. I wonder if you guys figured out the theme yet for today's Mega Pokemon. Anyway, for the final Pokemon getting a Mega, we took a page out of the original X and Y video games and gave a legendary Pokemon a Mega Evolution. Introducing Mega Zygarde, the dragon fighting type Order Pokemon. Now, based on its complete form, if we were to use its previous stats, it would have been over 800, making it an extremely broken Pokemon. So instead, we opted for giving it the same base stat total of the two Mega Mewtwo's, which is still pretty darn busted if you ask me. On top of that, it gets the ability Adaptability, which makes all of its stab moves do just a bit more damage. And its design, if you haven't caught on yet, is a combination of both legendaries of X and Y. Go ahead, take a second and see if you can catch their design elements in this Mega Zygarde's design. Pretty neat, huh? On top of that, it's said that upon Mega Evolving, this Pokemon's power over the Earth reaches its zenith, its form echoing the world's primordial forces. It is said to appear when the planet's life force is in peril, reshaping continents and commanding legions of nature to restore balance against those who threaten the harmony of its domain. Man, oh man, would I be terrified if Zygarde actually got a Mega Evolution, but at the same time, I'd totally be for it, because with great overwhelming power comes balance, and that's just Pokemon. But what do you guys think? Want to see more Mega Pokemon evolutions? Well then, let's try to hit this video's like goal of 600, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on that one. But in the meantime, check out this video for more Mega Pokemon. Well, what are you waiting for? I'll see you in a bit.